Hello Year 6, welcome to Friday's maths lesson. So well done yesterday on solving your measure problems. Some of those were quite tricky and challenging, so you did really well. I really enjoyed seeing your pictures come in on the email yesterday. Just one quick question that I want to go over from yesterday before we move on, because I've noticed on the email that this was one that we struggled on a little bit yesterday. So it was converting 6 kilograms and 4 grams into grams. Okay, so I'll just quickly go over this one before we move on to our work for today. So remember, there is 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Okay, so if I know that there's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, then in 6 kilograms there's going to be 6,000 grams. Okay, and then I haven't got to change this 4 grams because that's already in grams, so all I've got to do is add that on. So my answer for this one would be 6,004 grams. Okay? So well done if you managed to get that one right. If you struggled with that one, just flick back, double check and just do your correct. Okay, so moving on today then, we are moving on to page 30 and we are continuing to answer measure problems today. Okay, so some things are similar to what we did yesterday, some things are new for today, so I'll go over the different things that you're going to need. Before we get started on the work in our book for today though, I have done a little starter for you, and I just want to quickly recap over area and perimeter, because we have done some area and perimeter, but we haven't done much of it in school, so I just want to go over it, recap it, and then you can apply things that you learn on here to your work for today. So, if you remember then, the area is the middle part of the shape, and the perimeter is the outside edge of the shape, okay? So, in a minute, I want you to pause your video and have a go at working out the area and the perimeter for each of these shapes. Now remember, the area, if it's a square or a rectangle, we just multiply the width by the height, yeah, or the length by the width. We multiply those two numbers and that will give us the centre part of the shape. Okay, if you're doing perimeter then, you need to add up the outside edge. Okay, you might not have all of the sides though, and then that's up to you to figure out what the missing sides are. So if it's a cube, if this side, a square, if this side is 2, then this side will be 2. And if this side is 2, this side will be 2, because in a square, the sides are all equal, aren't they? Now in a rectangle, I know that if this side is 2, then this side is going to be 2. And if this side is 5, then this side is going to be 5. Now a triangle, we did go over finding the area of a triangle last week, but you need to multiply the base by the height, so this one in the middle, and then divide it by 2. You've got to remember to half it, okay? And a parallelogram like this one, remember a parallelogram is a shape with 2 pairs of parallel sides. You just need to multiply to get the area, the height, by the width. Okay, and then I've put the other one on so that you can work out the perimeter. So pause your video now for me, have a good go of working out the area and perimeter for each shape, and then when you are ready, come back and press play and we'll go through them together. Okay, so hopefully you've all had a good go then. So the area for this red one then would be 3 times 3, which is 9 centimetres squared. Remember, we always do squared if it is area. Perimeter then would be 3, add 3, add 3, add 3. So that's 3 times 4, which is 12 centimetres. We don't need squared on that one because it's not area. This one then would be 5 times 2 for the area, which is 10 centimetres squared. Perimeter then would be 5 add 5, which is 10, add 2, which is 12, add 2, which is 14 centimetres. Okay, the area for this one then would be 4 times 3, which is 12, but then divide it by 2. So that would be 6 centimetres squared. The perimeter then would be 4, add 4 for this side, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11. We add that 3 on. So then your perimeter would be 11 centimetres for the triangle. This one then, the area would be 2 times 2, which is 4 centimetres squared. And then your perimeter will be 2, add 2, which is 4, add 2, which is 6, add 2, which is 8 centimetres. And then the last one, your parallelogram, would be 4 times 3 for your area, which is 12 centimetres squared. And then 4 add 4, which is 8. And then add your 6 on, which would be 14 centimetres for your perimeter. Okay, so you can mark your answers if you've just had a go and see if you've got them right. Well done for trying your best. Okay, moving on then to your work for today. You will need area and area a bit later on question 2. But first of all, on question 1, it says work out the difference in minutes between the 2 times given. Now the way I would teach you to do this is to use a number line and to do the jumps. So for example, it says A, 9:57 p.m. and 12:15 a.m. So I'm going to write it on 9:57 p.m. I'm going to make sure I write my p.m. so that I don't forget. And then 12:15 a.m. Okay, now 12:15 a.m. is just after midnight, isn't it? If it's in the morning, 12:15 p.m. would be just after lunchtime. Okay, so the way I'm going to do it then is I'm going to jump to the next hour. Okay, so 9:57 to 10 is 3 minutes. I'm just going to put mins. Okay, then it's up to you really how you want to do your jumps. You might find it easy enough to go from 10 to 12:15 straight away, but I'm going to jump to just a little bit closer. Oh no, sorry, it'd be 12 a.m, wouldn't it? Okay, so 12 a.m, so that's midnight. That's 2 hours. Just write it in short. And then 12 to 12:15 is 15 minutes. Okay, right, I'm just going to go back to my question, have another read and check what I need to do. So it says work out the difference in minutes between the 2 times given. So I need to change this one to minutes, don't we? Because we don't want hours, we want minutes. So I know in 1 hour there is 60 minutes. So in 2 hours there's going to be 120 minutes. Now for my answer then, for A, I need to do 120, add 15, add 3, and that will be my answer. Okay, so this is the way that I recommend you work out all of those for question 1. Draw yourself a line in your purple book or just on some paper, do the jumps, and then you'll clearly be able to see how many minutes are in between those 2 times. Okay, question 2 then says work out the area of the shaded part of each shape. Now we've just gone over in our starter finding the area of a parallelogram. So these are all parallelograms, these shapes on question 2. So we need to apply that knowledge to this and finding the area of triangles as well. So the shaded part of your shapes then is like the green part of my shape. So I'm going to show you how I would find the area of my green part and then you can have a go on yours. So these are the steps that I would follow. So first of all, I would find the area of the whole shape, including this bit in the middle, all of it all together. And to do that then, I need to use my full side and my height. So I need to do 6 times 7. So my area of this shape would be 42 centimetres squared. Okay, but that's for the whole shape. Now then, I need to work out the area of this triangle in the middle, so then I can take it away. So to work out the area of a triangle, then remember, we multiply the height by the base, and then we divide it by 2. So 6 times 3 is 18. Half of 18 would be 9. So the area of the triangle would be 9 centimetres squared. Okay? Now to work out the area of just this part, just the green part, I need to do 42, take away 9. If you want to write that down in column method, that's absolutely fine. But I know that 42 take away 10 is 32. So it's going to be 34, isn't it? If I add that one back on. So my area of my green part, which is equivalent to your shaded part, would be 34 centimetres squared. Okay? So remember first, area of the whole shape, then the area of the triangle, don't forget to divide it by 2, and then area of the shaded part. Okay? Sorry, and then take the triangle area away from the whole shape area, and that will give you the shaded part. Okay, question 3 then says solve these problems. Now these are quite challenging, but I know you can all do them and have a good go. So I'm going to go through each one with you so you know what maths you need to do, and then you can have a good try. Okay, so the first one then says the sides of a cube each measure 8 centimetres. Find the total surface area in centimetres squared for 2 cubes of this size. So I've got a cube diagram on the board for you so that it helps you to visualise it. So if we know that the side of a cube is 8 centimetres, then I know this side must be 8 centimetres as well, because we know with a cube that all the sides are equal length, aren't they? Okay, so to work out the area then of one face, one side of my cube, I need to do 8 times 8, don't I? So 8 times 8 is 64 centimetres squared. Okay, so that's just for one face. But I know that a cube has 6 faces. Okay, so to work out your answer for the surface area of one cube, you need to do 64 times 6. And you can write that out in short multiplication like that, can't you? And that will give you the area for one cube. But we want 2 cubes. Okay, so once you've done 64 times 6, you need to multiply your answer by 2. Once you've multiplied your answer by 2, that will give you your answer. Okay? On B then, it says a rectangular paddock 180 metres wide needs 956 metres of fencing to enclose it. What length is the paddock? Now, I've got a rectangle here because I know it's a rectangular paddock. I don't even need to worry that it's a paddock. I can forget about that. That's just irrelevant information. I need to know that it's a rectangle. And I need to know that it is 180 metres wide. Now, in a rectangle, I know that if that side is 180, that side is 180. Okay, we know that about rectangles, don't we? That opposite sides are equal. So it says it needs 956 metres of fencing. So that just means the fence has to go all the way round, but the perimeter is 956 metres. Okay, so all you've got to do now is add 180 and 180, take it away from 956, and then whatever you've got left, that is for both of these sides. Okay, but you only need one side. So do 180 add 180, take it away from 956, divide your answer by 2, and that will give you the length of your paddock. Okay? Last one on this question then is C, and it says a school hall is 1 1/3 times as long as it is wide. Its width is 18 metres. What is its area in metres squared? So I'm going to write in what I already know. Its width is 18 metres. Okay, I don't need to write it in down here because it's not asking me about the perimeter, it's asking me about the area. So, if it's 1 1/3 times as long as it is wide and it's 18 metres wide, we need to do 1 1/3 times 18. Now, before we can do that, we've done lots of these kinds of questions in school, so you might already know, but before we can do that, you've got to change that into an improper fraction, haven't you? Because it's a mixed number at the moment. If you change it to an improper fraction, then you will be able to use it. So 3 times 1 is 3, add the 1 is 4. So that is 4/3. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this one out of the way. Okay, so we're doing 4/3 times 18. But remember, when we times a whole number by a fraction, we have to make that whole number into a fraction. So we're doing 4/3, one second, let me just move this up, 4/3 times 18 over 1. Okay? So you need to do 18 times 4. So I'm going to do some, just check you can see that yet. So I'm going to do some short multiplication over here. 8 times 4 is 32. 1 times 4 is 4. Add the 3 is 7. So my answer then would be 72 of my numerator, and my denominator is going to be 3 times 1, 3. Okay. Now there is lots and lots of steps to this question. Now this answer needs simplifying. Okay, so you now need to have a go at doing some division and do 72 divided by 3. And it will fit. Okay, so you will get a whole number. You do your bus stop method and do 72 divided by 3, you'll get a whole number. Okay, and that will give you the length of the hall. Okay, but we don't want the length, we want the area. So whatever answer you get here from 72 divided by 3, you need to multiply it by 18 and that will give you the area. Okay, I know there's a lot of steps, but if you can rewind this video if you want to, watch it again, slow it down, keep pausing it, and then do all the different steps and you should be able to get there. Okay, the last question then, oh, it's not on there, sorry. Your last question then says, Paul says that shapes with the same area always have the same perimeter. Is he right or wrong? Use an example to explain your answer. Okay, so for this one then, you're going to have to do a little bit of trial and error. So get a piece of paper or use your purple book and have a go at drawing a few different shapes. I know today that we've looked at some shapes that have got a different area and perimeter, so I'm sure you're going to be able to prove Paul wrong. Try and draw a shape that's got a different area and perimeter, and then use your example in your explanation. So you can say, I don't think Paul is right because a square could have the perimeter of this and an area of this. Or you might think he is right, just make sure you explain your answer. Okay, so good luck with all of your maths work for today. Have a lovely weekend and I will see you on Monday.